Home. I'm going home.
Mithos, listen to me. We don't have to fight. Please return the Great Sea to us so that we can reunite the worlds.
Home. I'm going home.
Something's wrong. He sounds like a puppet.
What?
I need to thank you for going through all the trouble to bring me back here. I'm finally myself again.
Damn. So that's what this was all about.
Mithos, Martel is already dead.
That's not true. Martel is alive. Just as I lived on in the Crucius Crystal.
That's not living. That's just existing as a lifeless being.
What's wrong with that?
What?
After all, in our bodies flow the bloods of humans and elves, the bloods of those that despise us. We're better off casting aside such filth and become lifeless beings.
That's what you really want?
Of course. Watch. When you become a lifeless being, you can even control your appearance and growth. Everyone should become lifeless beings. I told you before, the only way to eliminate discrimination is for everyone to become the same race.
What you hope for is nothing but a dream, Mithos. Discrimination comes from the heart.
He's right, Mithos. It's the weakness of people's hearts that causes discrimination, looking down upon others while placing themselves too high.
You do the same thing. You look down on humans and elves, treating them like cattle. That's the weakness of your heart.
Even if people become lifeless beings, nothing will change. Discrimination will continue.
Then where should the half-elves go? We aren't accepted anywhere. We opened our hearts, but no one took us in. Where should we live?
You can live anywhere you like.
Don't make me laugh.
I'm serious. Anywhere is fine. If you aren't doing anything wrong, you should just live proudly in the open.
It's because we couldn't do that. That we wanted a place of our own.
But that is not an excuse for the things we have done. It is merely a motive, not a justification.
What you've done caused meaningless suffering and death to countless people. Can you feel their pain?
People can change, even if they don't change right away. Months, years, as time passes, change is inevitable.
Maybe not everything can be forgiven, but one can try to atone for one's sins. Can't you feel it in your heart? The goddess known as conscience.
Do you think I'm gonna beg for forgiveness? Ridiculous! There is no goddess, so I will continue to pursue my ideals. If there is no place where I can live, and if I've been denied my age of lifeless beings, then the only thing left for me is to build a new world on Daris Karlon. A world just for my sister and me. There's nothing anyone can do.
Holy Land!
Pretty good! White spear!
It's ineffective!
Demon spear!
Sword rain! Sword rain! Sword rain! Retribution!
My sister means everything to me. I won't let anyone get in my way. I'll revert this entire world back to nothingness.
It's not over yet. You're going to betray the world just for your sister? You're the one who...
Mithos is...
It's just like Alicia. Mithos will continue to live as long as the Crucius Crystal exists.
And eventually, I will be taken over by the crystal.
Mithos.
I'm tired of playing your game of good and evil. Hurry up and destroy the crystal. If you don't, Darius Carlon will continue to drift away.
Mithos!
Do it now. Before I, too, am no longer myself.
Lloyd, please, help him! Let him die while he's still himself.
All right.
Farewell, my shadow. You who stand at the end of the path I chose not to follow. I wanted my own world, so I don't regret my choice. I would make the same choice all over again. I will continue to choose this path.
You could have lived with us in our world. Damn it.
The old master of the pact is no more. What does the new master of the pact ask of this sword?
Restore the true form of our two worlds! Are we back? What's going on?
What are you all doing?
Your wish is granted. But there is no link. Without a link, the land will die.
Just as I thought.
The world was originally separated into two in order to prevent its destruction. If it returns to its true form, the world lacks the mana to support itself. The land is dying.
I don't need to know why it's dying. What do we need to do to stop it?
Support the two worlds by linking them with a giant tree. That is the only way to stop the destruction of the land.
We need to restore the giant Carlon tree.
I get it.
Lloyd, quickly, before Darius Karlon flies off into the distant reaches of space, use its mana to awaken the Great Seed. That's the only way to revive it.
All right then. I'm counting on you, Eternal Sword.
Darius Karlan is already at the edge of the gravitational field. Not even Yggdrasil. Mithos could stop this from happening. Do you still intend to try?
Yeah.
Even strengthened by your X-Sphere, it is likely that your body will not withstand the forces. Are you certain of your decision?
I said I'm doing it, so I'm doing it. It's not like we have a choice.
Very well.
It's not working. The mana's being deflected.
The Great Seed is already dead.
Wait, don't go! Please, wake up!
Looks like Darius Karlon stopped moving away.
Yeah, but why? The Eternal Sword is gone. The Eternal Sword!
Thank goodness.
This is my final wish. Eternal Sword.
Please awaken the Great Seed.
I beg you, please wake up!
Please!
Rise, giant Karlon tree!
I am Martel, and also the incarnation of the Great Seed itself. Lloyd, your hope, as well as those of many others, resurrected me.
So you're Mithos' sister?
No, Mithos' sister Martel is only one of the many souls within me. I am Mana, And I am the giant tree. I am the symbol of the many lives sacrificed to the great seed. I am a new spirit born to accompany the giant tree. And now the seed has awakened anew along with me.
This is the giant Carlon tree?
It's so beautiful and so grand.
This is the future form of the giant tree, but right now, it is only a small seedling. In its current state, the tree will wither and die.
Well then, how do we protect it?
You must provide the tree with love and adoration. As long as those conditions are met, I shall always protect this seedling.
I promise, if the tree ever starts to wither, I'll make sure we won't let it die.
Then, Lloyd, on behalf of all living things, I want you to give this tree a new name as a proof of the pact.
What?
The giant Carlon tree was planted here by the elves when they first came, as a guardian to watch over and protect them. This newly reborn tree protects elves, humans, and the lives of all those who are caught in between. Therefore, this tree requires a new name.
Lloyd, pick a name for us. A name for everyone's tree.
So this tree is the link that connects the world. Okay, I got it. This tree's name is...
Grandmother, I'm home.
Oh, chosen one.
No, Grandmother, I'm not a chosen anymore.
Oh, yes, Colette. You have made us all proud.
Welcome home, Colette.
It's good to be home, Father.
I see. So, Kratos will travel with Karlon wherever it may go. What are you going to do? Go back to Iselia?
No, we're going out to visit new lands.
We're going around the world to try and make it easier for half-elves to be accepted.
It sounds like you have a difficult journey ahead of you.
We can return to Iselia when we're tired.
We will always have a home there.
Hi everyone, I'm back!
Sheena, I'm so glad you're safe. Congratulations, Sheena.
And don't congratulate me yet. A whole new world lies before us now. We have to inform everyone about the revival of the Igaguri style.
Yes, and for when Kuchinawa returns as well.
Yeah! Come on everyone, let's work as hard as we can. We're gonna make the village of Mizuho into a ninja clan to be proud of.
Alicia, I'm finally myself again. Time is finally starting to flow again from that night 16 years ago. You know what? I'm 28 years old now. Can you believe that?
Were you talking with Alicia?
Yes.
I just got back from overseeing the destruction of part of the mine. Now that that's done, we can rest assured that no new X-spheres will be excavated.
That's good to hear. What are your plans now?
I'm going to devote the full resources of my company to revitalization projects in order to build a new and better world.
I'll help too. I'm sure Alicia and Daddy would have wanted me to.
Are you really going to Karlon?
If a half-elf of Crucius remains here, the other half-elves will have no place to live. As a surviving member of Crucius, I must bear the responsibility for what has happened.
I'm going to collect all the X-spheres remaining in this land.
And I will discard all of Crucius's X-spheres into space. I've dragged you into this until the very end.
It's okay.
It's time for me to go. Please use that sword to send us to Karlon.
Goodbye, Dad.
Don't die before I do, Lloyd. My son.
Mom, Dad left. That was okay, wasn't it? For me to let him go? It was okay, right?
Lloyd, you wanted to go with him, didn't you?
No. I have my own path to follow. And Dad has his. And besides, I have a dad here already.
Is he? Then I won't say any more.
Mom, I'll leave Dad's sword here beside you. Well, I'm off.